Church in Duluth is looking to repair their stained glass windows, and the farmers market returns next week in Hayward. All that and more as we take you around the Northland, city by city. We start on the Iron Range tonight, where Range Mental Health Center has recently been certified as a community behavior health clinic. RMHC offers mental health services in Ely, Virginia, and Hibbing. They also provide substance use disorder services in Virginia. In order to receive the certification, organizations must ensure access to a range of services, as well as meet a federal requirement related to the speed of care. People in crisis must see outpatient care within 10 days of initial contact. RMHC will now see federal reimbursements as long as they meet the standards of a certified community behavior health clinic. Next, we head to Duluth, where a local church is hosting a fundraiser on Sunday. St. Mary's Star of the Sea Catholic Church is raising money to fix their 117-year-old stained glass windows. A pie social will run from 2 to 4:30 at the church. There will be a presentation of the church's history and its art starting at 3. The pie social is free, but donations are welcome. And we wrap up in Hayward, where the farmers market opens on Monday. The opening bells will ring at 11 a.m. every Monday through September 25th. Attendees are encouraged to bring their own bags, but a local business will have compostable bags available to those who need them. The farmers market is held at the Lumberjack Bowl grounds. Early season goods include local produce, baked goods, and crafts. Fruit and vegetable options will expand as the growing season continues. And as always, if there's something going on in your neighborhood that you think we should know about, send us an email and it might be featured as we take you around the Northland, city by city.